Hi everyone, we are Group 5 of GE2202. My name is Yiwann, here with Abby, Yuliana, Tommy, and Sylviana, and we are going to analyze on how will One Belt One Road affect global business. Here is our presentation outline. So what is One Belt One Road? One Belt One Road is a project initiated by China and was announced back in 2013 by the President of Republic of China, Xi Jinping. It is a giant infrastructure project which connects China and the world, and hopefully will strengthen the relationships among the countries involved in the project. It is also believed to be able to promote the economic growth of those countries involved. One of the main purposes of this initiative is definitely to ease the transport of materials and energy along the route. The initiative mainly consists of two parts: the belt, which based on the Silk Road economic belt, and road, which based on the maritime Silk Road. As you can tell now, the project will focus on building tons of infrastructure facilities such as roads, bridges, ports, ID lines, and so on, which are necessary for the transport. The following is the map of the route of the project. As you can see, Xi'an will act as the starting point of the red-colored Silk Road economic belt, moving to the west across East European and Middle East countries. Meanwhile, the blue-colored maritime route, in which Fuzhou acts as the starting point, will first move to the south and then to the west across Southeast Asian and African countries. So, which countries have signed up for the project? Currently, there are approximately 70 countries and international organizations that have signed up. They are mainly countries from the Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. It will cover more than 60% of world's population, and according to PricewaterhouseCoopers, it will take in approximately $5 trillion in total of investment.
The first positive impact is to broaden the China's global business market. The China's One Belt One Road plan builds up a new pattern of all-round economic integrations connects with the world. The strategy is aimed to strengthen the global trading business and building ties and economic cooperations among the Euro-Asian countries through the action plan of Silk Road Economic Belt and Maritime Silk Road. The plans opens the new market and cooperations among 60 countries, equivalent to 65% of the world's populations and one-third of its global GDP. The large-scale infrastructure projects were brought out, including the 6 economic corridors of building railways, roads, highways, and pipelines. The US $40 billion Silk Road Fund make possibilities to a sustainable long-term market investment upon the state infrastructure and open a vast economic platform in return for the greatest chance of commercial success. For instance, under the loan financing scheme by helping the countries like Sri Lanka to sign the coal power energy project will help achieve the energy needs of the developing countries while creating long-term clients for China, giving rise for China to have better access to Central Asian gas supplies and establish an outlet for China's industrial residue. Promoting the shared economic prosperity, the business strategy is to align the competencies and bridge between the culture and business. Investment on infrastructure, technology, and education draws in more regional cultural integrations. China also set up bilateral business exchange projects with the Euro-Asian countries and foster the flow of the business in legal, insurance, and the financial services. The new diplomatic directions of China enlarge its global footprint by the drive of economic transformation and diplomatic orientations. By reforming the socialist market economy, China successfully builds trust and diplomatic ties and set up bilateral and multilateral cooperations within the Euro-Asian countries. The Chinese neo-mercantilism grows into a role of leader of the international politics and forges a new global economic and political orders.
Although One Belt One Road initiative brought a lot of advantage to China, we cannot overlook the negative impact to China and even the world. The first negative impact is worsening the relationship with developed countries. From the US and other well-developed countries like Japan's perspective, there might be a threat from China to replace the US as the world's superpower in the long run by the operation of Belt and Road Initiative. Undoubtedly, One Belt One Road can assist China to spread its soft power around the world by increasing the number of cross-border economic and political activities, which enhance the internalization of renminbi and taking a leading role in every project in One Belt One Road. So there is high risk to the US that it would be replaced by China. The second negative impact is damage of the China's reputation due to illegal business. Although One Belt One Road creates great business flow for China, it leaves a room for illegal business in China market. Due to huge and profitable construction projects, companies compete for application. Illegal actions like corruption are inevitable. Contracts may go to inappropriate companies, resulting poor quality of construction. Therefore, a series of negative consequences will do harm to the citizens' life and country's reputation if there is total infrastructure development. According to Trace metrics, some high political instability countries such as Afghanistan and Syria rank 170 and 191 in 200 countries respectively. That means there is high chance of business bribery risk as well as corruption since frequent economic activities with the world's most corrupt nation. The third negative impact is long-term investment from China. Since most countries involved are poor, lack of facilities and resources, they expect China to invest in their countries. If the return period is too long, it creates tremendous problem to the stakeholders. History has shown that when a business has hold over years, the compete rate will be fallen. Nowadays, compete rate fall below 60%, and it indicates that those projects cannot be completed. Besides investment, safety, cultural, and religious background are some of the concerns from China. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is one of the largest projects under One Belt One Road. However, as it has passed through India and Pakistan, it creates argument and dissatisfaction in these countries. With different negative consequences in different countries, it is shown that in recent years, China's investment in One Belt One Road is declining. So it is estimated that the return rate of One Belt One Road is uncertain.
The better connectivity provided by BRI allows many multinational companies to access a wider range of markets. This advantage of having larger consumer base would benefit business entrepreneurs of the membering countries and eventually attracts investors from all over the world. By joining BRI, trading barriers such as non-tariff measures and intellectual property protections might be reduced to accomplish an easy trade. Through the initiative, international companies are able to send various materials with reduced costs of transport and time. The freight railway built from New Chongqing to Duisburg, Germany, for example, has cut off the transport time to 12 or 13 days, while container shipping takes an average of 5 weeks. The enhancement of infrastructure in the less developed countries give rise to new opportunities in fields such as tourism, trading, and logistics that might be worth investing for. Meanwhile, the bigger enterprise can also expand their business to other locations and enjoy the benefits of cheap labor and tax. The applications of OBOR demand numerous financial services such as loans, settlements, third-party agency, and financial management. Moreover, investing in such a large-scale projects requires the aid of financial-related institutions such as insurance and risk management companies. The complex procedures in BRI investment means that there is a need in legal services. In addition, each countries have different rules or practices, so specialists that understand their legal requirements are of great importance. All the efforts in developing infrastructure demands a large number of manpower. Furthermore, the land surrounding the infrastructure projects can be monetized and creates business opportunities for real estate agencies. Local tourism can also take advantage of the improved infrastructure. Not only that it boosts the number of tourists, but business like hotels, food, and beverage industry would also earn profits. Workers in this area are in high demand. Some of these jobs do not require high educations, and therefore the unemployment rate due to uneducated personnel could be decreased.
As the project investment towards the BCRI, major countries usually account for a huge sum of money, and some of the key stakeholders, like Pakistan and Afghanistan, are commonly known as unstable in many ways, and they have a history of armed conflict and political turbulence. This conflict can eventually result in huge loss for the investor. So, BRI accounts for more than 65 countries from East Asia to North America, and there's a dramatic variance in legal sector, where some countries follow Islamic law and some follow the common law. And not to mention, some countries do not have a holistic law system. This will create a huge risk for investors if they find any dispute. Financing risk is something that can be neglected by us easily. And back in 2014, a 40 billion Silk Road Fund was created to fund the project of Belt and Road. However, most of the fund raised is not going to the project, and other capital is unwilling to fund, basically because it is too risky. Debt default can be another business risk and challenges, as the countries that participate in BRI projects are often taking compressingly high debt to carry out those projects. And one example is Laos, a country that borrowed 800 million from China, yet the whole country output is only 12 billion. While the country is originally heavily in debt, Laos can easily fail to pay back their loan. While there are many more countries like Laos, if all of them can repay their loan, then the initiative failed. Next, we will look at the future. To commence with, exploitation of workers in developing countries will happen, as most of the workers in developing countries are uneducated and they do not know what is the fair price. So it may lead to more situations like the sweatshop. And other than that, the geopolitical tension will also happen because their extravagant rise in globalization can result in crash of culture. Something positive is that more job positions will definitely arise as there are more infrastructure development bring by the BRI.
On the environmental aspect, there will be lots of great infrastructure projects indeed, but it will mean that there will be massive amount of deforestation, and clearing the lands for building such gigantic infrastructure will worsen the condition of water and air pollution. Conclusion. After analyzing all of the positive and negative impacts, the business opportunities and risks, we have come to a conclusion that actually this One Belt One Road project will be a giant project heavily funded by China and invested globally. Its main purpose is to connect ties between the countries and parties involved, and hopefully will enhance their economic growth. Finally, if all of the parties could work together peacefully, this One Belt One Road project will be a golden opportunity that will benefit generations in the future.